I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it, success ain't no giving. Some days I don't hit, I don't slay. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous, down, wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank, I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze, the roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag, I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag, I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket, Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect, let them watch me elevating, got them noxious. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit, nose diving in the house and whoo. Watch how I get it here, watch how I get it here, watch how I get it here.
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Best Bet for UFC 298. We got Alexander Volkanovski going against Ilia Topuria. Very fun card here. Very fun main card on this pay-per-view, kicking it off with my favorite fight in the card, Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov is going to be fire. We got Merab Dvalishvili, Henry Cejudo, Jeff Neal, Ian Gary, Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa, and then ending the night with one of my most anticipated fights in a while, and Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria. And yeah, looking forward to the show. We have 12 fights to talk about, so we'll each get 2 passes. I will be competing today. We got TB in the building. We got Gordo in the building as well. Before we get started and break it all down, if you guys could please do me a favor, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We go live every Saturday, 2 hours prior to the prelims. The prelims start at 6:30 still, I believe, unless that's changed recently. And then in the description, you'll find the best bet rules. You will find, actually, no, I've been so behind this week because of the whole Lima Tafa situation. Don't have these guys' YouTube's link down, but TB, your Chronic Combat Conversations, go check him out. And then Gordo, you are Plays and Fade Sports, go check them out as well. Subscribe to them. And of course, I'll let them plug their stuff at the end. But I say we kick it around. We'll start with TB. TB, great card. We're finally out of the Apex.
Dude, I can't wait. The energy of the fans. Don't forget to take that into account when you're making your picks here before you bet a juiced fight goes the distance or something like that. But I just can't wait, man. Getting a great pay-per-view. I know 299 and 300 might be more stacked, but I think the matchups today give us some explosive fights. And just hearing actual fans out there, man, it's not going to be any better. I can't wait to break it down. Thanks for having me on, man.
100%. I mean, the fans are going to be going crazy for Zhang Mingyang versus Brenson Rivera. I mean, how can you not get excited about that absolute banger? We got Gordo in the building. Gordo, welcome back. Are you looking forward to UFC 298?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. It feels like these fights cannot come soon enough. You know, you got the whole day to really overthink your DraftKings lineups, overthink your bets, but no, I'm just counting down till it starts. I think it's going to be a really fun one. I think there's a lot of opportunities for, either binary matchups, but entertaining ones. And although it may be difficult to pinpoint exact winners, I don't think it's be difficult to be entertained on such a fun and stacked card. So I do think it's going to be a fun one. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Let's do it, guys. All right, let's shout out the chat before we get started. And it is the man himself, Gordo, in the building. First one in here at 1:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Sean V usually is first, but Gordy beat him today. Coming in here at 2:25 p.m. Then we got MMA Goulash. We got The Light of Truth, Dixon, Cider. We got Sean V, Habo Watt. Were we in the chat? What is up? We got Propaholic, Mateus, Nate, Uncle Keith, and we got a Chronic Conversation in the building as well. What is up? What is up, guys? DJM for life. What is up? We got Snap It. We got my biggest fan, Mark. Mark, I'd love to have you on one of these days on the show. You are indeed my biggest fan. We got Monk in the building. Yeah, this comment cracked me up. Rogerio de Lima is seconds away from finishing Junior Tafa. Then the lights go out. Lights come back on 7 seconds later. And Justin Tafa is standing right behind de Lima with a steel chair. Monk, I think that's on the table. I really do. We got Angel in the building. Jussie Q in the building. Jung Lee, Harry, Big Sus. What is up, Big Sus? How you doing? Cole Stein. We got my guy Forrest in the building. Greasy, Fahad, Devin. We got James, And we got a lot more. We got Pink Freud in the chat. We got not in the AM, not in the AM, bro. What is up? What? Brady, are you going to save Ian from a gold digging European? We'll see. We'll see. We got Rasmus in the building, Luis, Marvin, Andres, Billy, D'Amato scorecard, which I'm terrified of. I heard a rumor that D'Amato might be judging the main event along with Ron McCarthy, who, by the way, how are they letting Ron McCarthy, judge this main event when he just scored the Roman Dolidze fight against Imavov as a draw? I mean, that's a jailable offense right there. Ron McCarthy should probably be in prison for scoring that a draw. I mean, that was probably one of the worst scorecards I've seen in some time, and I've seen a ton of scorecards. We got 138 or 138 will you'll probably be remaining top, unless I do have a 25-1 play that I do like this week, actually 138. So we'll see. 138 he should be on either next week or the week after. But all right, guys, I say we get into it. Don't forget to smash the like button. We do appreciate all the likes, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. We're going to kick it off with the first fight on the card. We got Miranda Maverick going against Andrea Lee. We got Miranda Maverick minus 200, Andrea Lee plus 170. Let's start with Gordo. Gordo, what are you doing for this first fight of the card? Remember, you do get 2 passes on a 12-fight card here.
I know, and due to that TAFA cancellation, for some reason, I thought I only had 1 pass. So I have another fight one here to pass. I don't know if it's going to be this one. I think I might go out here and be, let's say, a non-reputable start to this card. I think it's going to be a dangerous one. I'm breaking the one rule of women's MMA, and I'm going to back some violence in this first one, actually. And I think it's an interesting one. We're playing with hypothetical units here. And for me, if I think we have a fight doesn't go to the distance at plus 225, I'm going to take a stab here. I think both these fighters are at different parts of their career. I think Andrea Lee's got her back up against the wall, and she's going to go out there and give it all she got. Miranda Maverick has been on a bit of a tear recently, and although she isn't historically the best finisher, I think she's going to have some positional advantages, and her athleticism is going to be on her side. Andrea Lee does have the opportunity to be a very close fight. And although Maverick is someone who excels offensively, when put on the back foot, when she is the nail, she is someone who can succumb to that pressure just the same way Jasmine did. And I do think that if this comes down to a first fight of a big pay-per-view, I do think this fight ends more often than a plus 225 indicates. Again, and not the prettiest line at the end of the day because it is women's MMA, but I still think it's one that has more chance of finishing the line and tails. And whether that be a Maverick late finish due to the aging veteran Lee, or Maverick being like I said, a better hammer than she is a nail, I do think we have ourselves an interesting line here, and I'm willing to take a stab for a fortunate good start to the card.
All right, taking violence there in the start of the card. And by the way, I think in terms of these 12 fights, I think like 10 of them are favored to end inside the distance. This is one that's actually favored to go the distance. So we got Luke in the building. What is up, Luke? Luke will be on next week for a very good Mexico City card next week. I cannot wait for that card. High elevation, fun fights, the return of Daniel Lacerda de Silva. We'll see if he can finally get his first win or if he'll lose once again. Probably going to lose once again. But yeah, for me, so I'm kind of going conservative-ish here. I do like the Maverick side. I think she's going to be able to get takedowns here. I think the physicality difference is huge. We've seen Lee taken down in pretty much every single fight. I do think it probably could be somewhat competitive, but Andrea Lee is getting up there in age. I think the takedown defense is a concern here, like I said, and I'm going Maverick instead of the money line though, which is around minus 200. What I do like to get that price tag down just a little bit is going to be the double chance on Bet365. They have Maverick sub/decision at minus 165. I do think decision is most likely, but Maverick, she actually has finished over half her wins by submission. So if there is a finish in this fight, I kind of lean towards it being that Maverick sub. So yeah, give me Maverick, submission, decision, double chance, minus 160, taking the conservative route. But don't worry, guys. I have a 25-1 later in the show. TB, what are you liking for this first fight of the card?
So I was kind of stuck in between 2 different ideas here. One, leaning towards a Gordo type of thought, but like the Maverick submission was calling my name. And it's just like, well, it takes till round 3 a couple times against much worse grapplers. So ultimately, in a fight where, if Maverick really can't hold her down and dominate her and get to those positions and the submission, I mean, we're getting the classic Andrea Lee fight goes to split decision. So, hey, listen, you're giving me plus 325. I'm going to take a shot. So the fight to be a split decision, doesn't matter who wins. Give me a corrupt judge in California to kick off the night. I don't care how dominant Maverick looks. Let Andrea like land a nice head kick, steal 2 rounds on one judge's scorecard, and I'm a happy guy. But like my pick is Maverick, and I think she could win by sub, but just give me the classic here, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I had 2 plays written down, and that split was one of them. But yeah, I ended up going the Maverick side, so I like it. I like the split. Let's see. We got Mills in the building. I'm in my car driving to UFC 298 Anaheim, Cali in my backyard. Yeah, enjoy the card, Mills. This is a pretty fun one there. That should be a good card. Hopefully you enjoy it, and hopefully you hit some bets as well. We got Mr. Drill catching the best bet live. What is up? Leah's the better fighter. I don't know about that, but I do think she's live. Like Lee, I do think is very underrated. She's been in a lot of close fights with a lot of good fighters, but I'm not sure if she's the better fighter per se. Maverick makes great pickles. The end, yeah, I heard she is out there selling pickles. If you guys want some pickles, hit up Miranda Maverick. I'm not a pickle fan myself, but I know Mark, you like some pickles, so you can hit her up and get some there. Miranda takes decision by the wrestling. I'm kind of leaning that way. We got Pink saying I've been on KGB, but Maverick looking good at the weigh-ins. Yeah, she did. And just got her black belt. Okay, narrative there. I mean, what is Maverick by submission in general? I don't think it's nothing crazy, right? Maverick by submission.
It's a nice number.
I like plus 475 there. It's not bad. Like I think if this fight finishes, I kind of lean that Maverick sub. So I don't hate it. Gordon, if you see this fight finishing, right? Do you think a Maverick subs in play, or you lean in something else?
I think it's in play. We've seen the only concern to that is we have seen Lee rocked in previous bouts, and I know that Maverick doesn't have the same power as her previous opponents, but still someone where I do think that positional ground and pounds in play, something like that as well. I just think it's a very exciting card in front of a very hyped up crowd that is going to lead towards some animosity both sides, and one that could be an electric start with potential finish upside.
All right, Sniper. I'm not bringing up that comment. I mean, I want to stay on YouTube for as long as possible, and I will not be bringing up some of these comments, Sniper. Brady, are you going to actually share the? Yeah, I'm going to share. I'm actually going to share the 25-1. Volk round 5 sub, I think, is the least likely outcome, but I also said that for Yuri Prohashka, Glover Teixeira, and it happened. So yeah, we'll see. We got Dixon has his notepad ready. Let's go. We got Urban in the chat. Free Lou Betcha. I agree. Let's get him back on Twitter. Let's get him back. Hopefully in the very near future. Split decision plus 350. All right, plus 350. We'll give you an even better price there, TB. Let's see here. Yeah, I know that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Getting ragdolled by a 38-year-old Roxanne Modafferi was not good. All good, Sniper, all good. I just can't pull up some of these comments here. Let's see. This can't be a real stat. Fighters are 1-5 in the last year after receiving their black belt. That can't be. I think you made it up, dude. How do you know that? Lee Maverick has trained together before, have they? Where would that be at? Up in Colorado? I don't know, but that's interesting as well. All right, let's watch the language in the chat, guys. All right, we'll move over to the next fights, and it's tough. You know, we got the chat hanging out. 431 of you in here already. I gotta host. I gotta moderate. I gotta do my bets. It's tough. It's tough in this position, but we're trying our best here. All right, I say we move on to Oban Elliott versus Val Woodburn. Who the heck is betting Oban Elliott at minus 415? Has the whole world gone mad? Is Val Woodburn coming in here blindfolded? Yeah, I'll kick this one off, and that's because I'm passing. I mean, I have no faith in Oban Elliott anywhere near minus 415. But in the same sentence, man, I have no faith in Val Woodburn. Like, I'm not sure this guy's UFC caliber. He made his debut on short notice against Bo Nickel, got starched in 20 seconds. I mean, that tells me nothing. Even watching some of this guy's fights, it just tells me nothing. He hasn't fought the best competition. I think Oban Elliott's the more skilled fighter, but trusting him at, about an 80% implied probability is ridiculous here. I think there's a couple solid parlay pieces on the card, but this just isn't one of them for me. So I'm going to pass on this fight. Nothing really sticking out. So yeah, I'm using my first pass out of 2 on this one. TB, what are you liking for this fight here?
It's an absolutely magical moment. You're telling me that in the combination of Valentine's Day week and Black History Month that I get to bet Valentine Woodburn at over plus 300? I'm in. It's as simple as that. Well, here's the fact of the matter. So Aubin Elliott comes in. He should win this fight, right? Like they're giving him a setup spot. Like, listen, this guy got knocked out on the feet by Bo Nickel. Like, you could do it, Aubin. And my real thought here is, listen, this guy goes life and death on Contender Series. I mean, the right ref, and they might have stopped that fight, right? Yeah. Now, Valentine Woodburn, I know he's not necessarily the most technical fighter, but he was fighting these guys at 205 and like pushing them around in the clinch on the regional scene. He's the one digging for underhooks, resetting and turning out these gigantic 205ers. I mean, listen, I know that there's a couple cans to be had out there, but the weight differential just tells me, listen, Woodburn looked great cutting down to 170. He's not that much like shorter than Aubin Elliott, and he's definitely the thicker guy. I'm going to take a chance here. What if there's some cage pushing? What if he lands that fluke knockout? What if they don't put a blindfold on him before he goes out? There's a lot of options here. Valentine Woodburn, I'm going to take the chance. You're giving me plus 315 now. I thought I had to play knockout to get that number earlier in the week, so I'm very happy to take that money line as a shot here.
All right. I am happy to announce I have not banned anybody all year. I haven't done it all year, and I wasn't planning on it, but I will get my first ban. Shout out to the smoking area. You are the first ban of the year. It only took till February 17th. I don't know. I can't be dealing with this now. The smoking area. I mean, you said two pretty horrible things, to be honest. So
not cool.
You are the first ban of the. I'm not even going to time you out because I mean some of the things you said were pretty terrible. So I will ban you, and your comments are now deleted. Shout out to, what was his name? I already forget. The
smoking area.
The smoking.
You are smoked. I like that, J.R. Kaufman. I like that. He was just smoked out the chat.
Just got smoked.
Deuces.
Yes.
Deuces.
I didn't want to ban anybody, but yeah, he left me no choice.
He asked for it, man. He asked for it.
The smoking man. What did he say? I mean, if I said what he said, either thing, I'd be getting kicked off of YouTube. And sometimes it doesn't show up in the YouTube comments because it automatically filters some things out, and it only shows up on my end. And yeah, so there we go.
Oh yeah, it was
all right. So just wanted to announce that first ban of the year. Had to drop the hammer down, and it felt good. I feel alive right now. But Gordo, you feel alive betting on Val Woodburn or Aubin Elliott at minus 415.
I don't know. I'm kind of caught off guard. I felt like I was just watching someone get scolded by their kindergarten teacher, like told not to do the simplest things. I got to get back into it here. And you know what? We had TB out there calling a Val Woodburn KO a fluke. And you know what, man? When you got the striking defense of Aubin Elliott, no KO is ever a fluke. Let's just put it that way. And I think we have right here a battle between two fighters who both have their flaws. I think Aubin Elliott, as I compared to a few times in the week, is kind of like a Marab from Wish, right? He's a guy who purely relies on that grappling success. His striking defense isn't there. His striking offense necessarily aren't there either, but he's a guy who has his flaws. He's a guy who can be hit. And although he has some pretty good forward pressure, pretty good takedowns, without much control, without much, let's say, consistency in his play, he's someone who I'm definitely not getting towards at a minus 415 price tag. Now, I debated passing on this one, but instead, let's swing for the fences. Let's have a good time. And swinging for the fences is what I hope Val Woodburn does, because we're taking his KO line at plus 475 right now. See the best available. So you have a guy out there who has a ton of power dropping down from a weight class against a guy in Aubin Elliott who does have questionable striking defense. Yeah, I agree. Aubin Elliott should be a slight favorite, but when you're giving me a number like this to fade someone with that striking defense, I think it happens more than the 18% indication. So I'm taking a big shot here. After it hits, I'll support Val Woodburn's local business with his lawn care, and we'll show him some love. So no, this is the one where I'm taking a shot on him, and I do think he gets it done more than the line entails.
All right, KO. Taking the big KO shot is Gordo there. Let's see what we got in the chat. Muck saying Valentine during Valentine's week at 6,900 on DraftKings. Yeah, could be a good thing there. We'll see. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, my wood was burning after Valentine's Day. That's terrible. That's terrible. Let's see here. Let's get these likes. Yeah, I mean, if we can get these likes up, that'd be great. If we can get at least 100 likes, that's always the goal. Let's see here. Is my 2,500 Kopylov round 3 KO? No, it is not. I don't think anybody would guess my 2,500. No nonsense. Yeah, no nonsense in here today. Let's see. And by the way, Gordo, do you really have a hammer on your desk? I saw you pick up something. Was that a hammer? What?
I gotta get out of here, guys.
You guys got to be careful around me. You know, I heard some people talking trash about my Valentine Zhang Ming Yang, so I gotta keep everyone, you know, on high alert. No, I was putting up the decorations in the back. Gotta look good, and then you gotta realize, man, like these bookies gotta watch out. I know Monk pointed it out, so it's here in case it's needed. I'm gonna put it back down.
I want to grab my hammer now. I mean, I feel like we all should have a hammer on our.
Is it in the
desk.
back with your Na Liang wig or?
My Na Liang wig's actually right in front of me. It's something I
things
see
that
every
you-
day.
Actually, you know what? Put it on.
No,
I've got a blowtorch. I've got a
blowtorch.
Does this count?
Holy crap! Holy crap! What's going on?
Listen, if you put together Chronic Combat Conversations, you can take a guess what this is for. But
Yeah, no, I
let
know.
that be up to the people, you know.
I know. Let's see. We got Tone in the building. What is up, Tone? We'll talk about the Ribeiro fight ever so shortly. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Almost 100 likes. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. Hit 100 likes already. What the heck? We're only on the freaking Val Woodburn fight. We might set a record for likes.
Val
I don't
Woodburn brings
have
the
it.
love, man.
He must. I don't have an axe, but that would be hilarious.
Scary.
Earth, wind, fire, axe.
Yeah. All right, guys. I say we just move on to the next fight then.
Yeah, my
We
people in
got-
the chat know what's good.
They know what's up. Danny Barlow versus Josh Quinlan. And I'll let you kick this one off, Gordon. We got Danny Barlow sitting around minus 194, Josh Quinlan plus 169. It looked like the Barlow money line was getting blown out a little bit. I think I saw him at like minus 230 at one point, minus 240. But some late money has came back in on Josh Quinlan. Gordo, how are you attacking this fight here?
First of all, Monk's in the chat. He knows all about the sick nickname left hand of God. Let's put that out there. And truly, he does have an incredible left hand. But I think when we're going out there and we're looking at this fight from a whole, he's kind of an unproven prospect, right? He has an incredible left hand that has beaten the low amateur scene, but his ground game is relatively untested. He is someone who has really more questions to be answered. And we saw him go out there, be taken down, be controlled by some earlier regional scene fighters. And I do think in this case here, the more well-rounded fighter of the two is going to be someone in Josh Quinlan. Now, me, myself, I have my fair share of ownership on Quinlan. I actually written down first here that his money line was at plus 200 in my research. That was something I was going to give out here, but I've already given out enough big plus money plays for now, and I got some bigger ones to come later. Let's get my favorite bet on this card, and that's Quinlan over 0.5 takedowns. It's literally minus 110. It's a very even spot here. It's one where I do think he's able to go out there and get a takedown, and that doesn't mean he's necessarily going to dominate this fight, but I think if he closes the distance, we've seen Barlow taken down easily before, and although he was able to get back up, that cash is right there, and he's able to use that left hand. The ground game's untested. The overall skill gap is, you know what, we've seen more experience from a guy in Quinlan who does have that black belt on the ground. I think he's going to look to take it there. With only one takedown needed, I do think that line cashes more often than not. I like that one there.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that's at the very least, he's going to go for. What do you attempt? Maybe like almost 10 takedowns in his last fight. He wasn't able to get any, I don't believe, but you know, Trey Waters does have great takedown defense, whereas with Barlow, we have seen him taken down pretty easily there. For me, so I'm going kind of conservative on this show, but there are two spots that are decent plus money. This is one of them. I'm kind of calling my shot here, and I think Barlow probably does get a knockout. I mean, this guy has a ton of power in his left hand, and Quinlan's very hittable. You know, Barlow's going to have an 80-inch reach, so I think he'll have no problem, you know, touching up Quinlan on the feet. Does he knock him out? Maybe. Quinlan's never been knocked out, but yeah, Barlow, I just think there's a big power difference between like a Barlow and Trey Waters, where Trey Waters is more of like a volume guy, but Barlow has that one shot power that I think could potentially, you know, get him out of here. And the knockouts, like I think like plus 125, it's not terrible, but what I'm going is I'm going round 2 KO plus 600, kind of calling my shot there. I think it's early. I don't know if it's going to come in the third round. I think it's either 1 or 2. I think there could even be like a feeling out process as well. I think Quinlan's going to be a little bit hesitant to, you know, go all the way in unless he's going for takedowns here. So yeah, give me a Barlow KO2. I think he gets him out of there in the second round. TV, what do you like for this fight here?
I'm putting my left hand to God, and I'm going to tell you guys, I'm sticking to it. It's Barlow inside the distance. I'm sketched out that he has a sub on his record and that we're expecting Quinlan to try to use his grappling in this fight. And I think we might get tricked in this spot here. Like, why is the knockout for a guy, we're getting near minus 200 here, and we're getting the knockout for someone that has such explosive power at about, plus 145 right now? I thought this line was going to be like a minus 105 knockout type of deal. So the fact that I could get plus 110 on just inside the distance, I feel like I don't want to even try to fade the narrative here, because I was going to do like, and over 4.5 minutes, like, oh, he's going to feel it out. But I don't even know if that's going to happen. I'm just going to say Barlow finishes this thing, and he does it at any point in the fight and by any method, and I'm getting plus money. I think there's a better than 50-50 chance on it. So I'll take that all day.
Yeah, I mean, what I always say is if there's not much difference between like the KO and the inside the distance or the submission and the inside the distance, just take the inside the distance, because there's really not much of a difference there. So I see KO anywhere from plus 120 to plus 145. The inside the distance is still plus money. Why not take that there? I'm going with Barlow KO2. TB is going with just the inside the distance at plus money, and then Gordo is taking the more than just one takedown. Quinlan needs one takedown at a pick'em. I like that. Let's see. We're all saying Gordo knows. Yeah, I think he does know. Absolutely. Barlow KO1. McD with the KO1. And then Elder saying it's easy. Danny by KO early. That's kind of where I'm leaning as well. If you have a number in your nickname, you're going to win. It could be. No problem. Lucid. Cejudo versus Devolish. Oh, we'll talk about that. We'll absolutely talk about that. Up to this moment, this card looks better than 300. No, come on. I mean, this card's good, but 300 is a good card. And he said he's going to announce the main event. And if it is Bilal Muhammad, Leon Edwards, I mean, I'll be so upset. Hopefully Dana White announces something good. Barlow by decision. I kind of think if it goes decision, Quinlan's kind of live here, to be honest. I think the striking, at least in terms of minute winning, could be competitive. And then Quinlan could, get takedowns here. So I think if it goes to decision, it might be Quinlan. So I love TKO. Yeah, I think TKO is solid. And yeah, he's talking about announcing it after the or at the press conference after the fights there. All right. I say we move on then to the next fight. I see your private chat there. I love it. All right. So we'll move on to the next fight. We have the talk of the town here. We have Zhang Mingyang going against Brenson Ribeiro. We have Zhang Mingyang minus 118, Brenson Ribeiro minus 102. This fight is disgusting, but it should be fun. It should be violent. I think somebody's getting served. I think somebody's going down. I don't know who, but Gordo, you have a kind of a strong take on this fight, right?
Oh, don't put that on me. Don't make me sound like I got a really strong take. I got an opinion, and I'm planting my flag in this one. But it's not like I'm super convinced. At the end of the day, this is a very, very sloppy 205 fight. But on Wednesday, Brady and I do a show with Monk and Wheezy. We talk fights, and I had to plant the flag. And I took my Valentine, Minyang Zhang, the new Chinese goat here. If you got Zhang in your name, we got a female Zhang champ. Minyang Zhang is coming for that strap. Just wait for it. And no, all jokes aside, this is a horrible low-level fight between two guys who have no striking defense, between two guys who are very offensive-minded. But I think at the end of the day, we have a guy who I just think is going to be, let's say, better suited for this type of matchup. Brenson Ribeiro is I got the hammer right there. He's a decent hammer, not the best nail. Brenson Ribeiro does not react best to taking damage. He can shell up. He can be knocked out. And though he has a decent offensive skill set, I don't like him on the back foot, and I do think he has his flaws. I just truthfully don't think he's suited for the UFC. Minyang Zhang probably isn't suited for it either. The narrative of him being knocked out by Mozarov. Sorry, not the narrative. The truth of him being knocked out by Askar Mozarov. He's a guy who can be hit. He can be knocked out. His striking defense is not there, but he goes forward. He pushes a pretty good pace, and he himself is a very, very violent finisher. And I think when you compare the two, although Zhang is getting knocked out, he's taking that initial brunt of damage. He's going forward, and he's walking through a few punches and then sometimes being clipped by them here. I think at the end of the day, he reacts better. He's the larger fighter of the two, and I do think he's going to be there coming forward on the front foot. And I do think he wins this fight. Now, am I saying he wins it 100% of the time? No, it's sloppy. It's going to be close, and I would not be surprised if Ribeiro chins him. But I'm taking Minyang Zhang here. I'm planting my flag on DraftKings. I'm taking him here. plus 145 KO. I do think he gets Ribeiro along the fence, unloads, and gets him out of there. So I could look like an idiot. At the end of the day, this is a sloppy fight, but I think it's gonna be a fun one, and I'm taking the side with Zhang here.
All right, man. Yeah, it's sloppy. Probably one of the sloppier fights I've seen in some time. For me, I'm going very conservative here, I think. So I have some numbers here. These guys have 42 combined fights, and 34 of those 42 have not seen the second round. That is an 81% implied probability. The fight won't start round 2 is minus 190, so chalky, but I really do see this fight ending within the first 5 minutes here. The under 1.5, I think, is a solid parlay piece, although it's a very popular parlay piece and it has been smashed. I think it still probably holds value considering 37 of 42 of their fights have went under 1.5. That is an 88% right there. So yeah, give me the fight won't start round 2, minus 190. I don't want to get cute here. I don't want to take the Zhang side. I really don't. And on the flip side, I don't really want to touch the Ribeiro side. Just give me somebody to go down here within the first 5 minutes, minus 190 for the fight won't start round 2. TB, how are you attacking this one? Are you fading the narrative? I mean, a lot of people think this fight's going to finish early. Any hot takes here?
I got a couple of them. You know I'm good for that. So first off, the most important thing that we haven't even touched on yet, like who would you guys take in a fight? Like a mountain tiger or a gorilla?
Mountain tiger.
Gorilla.
Yeah, see, so I'm on the gorilla side here. I think we get Brendan Ribeiro. Like, I mean, you saw that face off, man. Like, Ribeiro is gigantic, absolutely gigantic, and his like the head size too. Like, it's a little interesting. Now, when watching the tape, I think the reach differential isn't necessarily that Ribeiro is going to be able to like stay clean and safe with his distance, but when he lands, he has 3 extra inches of reach per hand to follow through with. And the way he spears his jab out there, he throws out the front kick. And then when you get in the pocket, that looping left hand that comes from like Bobby Green angles all the way up top. And like Lopez had no idea what hit him there. Now, you also look at the level of competition coming in. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about the Oscar Mozharov fight. That's not too important given how much older Zhang is right now. And shit happens on the regional scene. But you know what? Like you look at before each of these guys got to the UFC, they're both like north of plus 400 favorites. Now, Brendan Ribeiro is that type of underdog. He's like plus 450, plus 500, and it's against like an LFA champion, someone that, is being hyped up as like someone that Dana White's contender series. Like they want to sign the Lopez guy, right? And Ribeiro, he's fought on the Russian regionals against some legitimate fighters too. And you see him come out there and he fights off the back foot well. Like I know he doesn't look like comfortable or like the super most technical, but he does it and he does it well and he lands with power. And Lopez just doesn't see the counter coming. And he thinks that he has the range measured, and he doesn't. And I think that happens with Zhang. You want to talk about bad defense? Zhang's got all the offensive tool set on the front foot. This guy's got 0 defense. And the guy Tokos that he fights, and Tokos is like a minus 600 favorite. That dude's flying from South Florida to Singapore on like 2 days' notice and ends up being a minus 800 favorite. Are they on crack? I don't understand what happened there. And Tokos is landing. I think if Ribeiro lands those type of strikes, he's not the out of shape guy flying on short notice from Florida all the way to Singapore and looks half asleep as they're introducing him. I think Ribeiro's got this. Now, if you wanted to fade the narrative, my bet is Ribeiro money line. I got it plus 125. You're still giving me plus money. I'm okay with that. I don't need to take anything cute because the guy's got almost as many submissions as he has knockouts, and Zhang's been submitted 2 times himself. So I would tell you guys, be careful before you get too specific on this fight. But I think it's Ribeiro, and I'm going to take his money line because, man, I think the Gorilla's got this covered here.
The Gorilla versus the Mountain Tiger. Yeah, you mentioned the defense really of both these guys, but Zhang especially. You know what Zhang's defense reminds me of? It reminds me of that Sam Alvey, Marcin Prachnio fight where Prachnio was walking hands down like this, and Sam Alvey just beating him up, knocking him down. I mean, yeah, striking defense is rough, but both guys have rough striking defense. So I think somebody's getting served, and I have a strong take here between. I think one of you two are going to be right. I really do. I feel like either Zhang is going to win, or I feel like Ribeiro is going to win. I think one of those outcomes are on the table here.
Look at it. We're getting a fucking no contest now that you said that, Brady.
Watch, yeah, no contest, eye poke, pointed. Yeah, we could see something like that. All right. So yeah, I'm taking the fight won't start round 2, taking the easy way out, if you will. These guys picking a side in this crap. I mean, this is a crapshoot. I mean, this is an absolute crapshoot. But one of you guys will, I think, be right unless we have a no contest. Gorillas are too slow. Clay Guida, Tony Ferguson, main event. No, it's not. It's not happening. Any big cat would likely kill a gorilla. A tiger would destroy. There you go. We got Jay in the building. What is up, Jay? Ribeiro by sub. Yeah, like TV said, like Ribeiro does have quite a few submissions. Both these guys actually do. Although Zhang submitting like the worst competition just imaginable. But yeah, Ribeiro does have some subs. Yeah, I mean, I'm here for the hot takes, and I have one next fight as well in the Rinya Nakamura fight. I have a very hot take there. Chinese regional scene, being over 6 feet tall automatically qualifies you. This dude Zhang is huge, dude. On paper, it says he's 6'2". I saw a picture of him next to Magomed Ankalaev, and he was like towering over the guy. The guy's massive. It's close, but I picked Zhang. And yeah, you know, Mark, I try to be as insightful as possible. That's for sure. All right. We will move on. Don't spam the chat. We'll move on to the next fight. We have Rinya Nakamura going against Carlos Vera. It's actually funny. Whenever I saw this fight announced not too long, like a month and a half ago, I was like, we might see like the biggest favorite ever with Rinya Nakamura here. And that's not the case. It's not the case. But he is a really big favorite here, currently sitting at minus 1,400, taking on Carlos Vera, who's plus 800. Oh, man, I will let you guys go first. I'm kind of debating back and forth between two plays that stick out. So I'll hear you guys go first, and maybe you'll sway me one way or another. Gordo, what do you take for this fight here? Or are you passing?
So you said that you thought this would be the biggest favorite ever. Is there value at minus 1,400, Brady?
It could look like value. We'll see. We'll see.
No, I'm on a pretty popular play this week, one where I think that it is just a bit wrong here for the outcome. We have a minus 1,400 favorite who is a primary wrestler, and although he has rounded out his fundamental skill set, he is a guy who does succeed well on the ground. Carlos Vera, 36-year-old guy who, you know what, has a couple losses by submission. If you're going to put together a primary wrestler against a guy who's never been KO'd but has been submitted, and you're going to give me that at plus 250, I'm going to take the Nakamura sub here. To me, I do think it's a guy who is going to take it to the ground, have an opportunity to get there. And although he has KO equity, I'm not putting that past him. You know what? He's minus 1,400, and we're turning that minus 1,400 into a plus 250. And being a guy who uses that primary wrestling skill set to his advantage, I do think the line's a bit off there. I do think it happens more time than the line entails. And I do think Vera's decently tough. So he gives up his back in transition. Nakamura should be able to take advantage. And truth be told, it's Nakamura about any way he wants. I just think that the KO to sub should be a bit closer.
Yep, that's a good take. Carlos Vera gets sick before the fight. That'd be wise, I think. I mean, this is a tough matchup for one Carlos Vera. Sub is value. It could. And Justy's saying the Kimura is going to happen. I'm manifesting. I'm actually picking the Kimura as well. Kimura. I mean, come on. It doesn't get more narrative based than that. So for me, yeah, that was what I was debating back and forth between going with the inside the distance, which is minus 175, which I think that's pretty dang solid considering this guy's minus 1,400. I mean, if he pays off this price tag, he's running through this guy. You know, Carlos Vera, 36-year-old bantamweight, making his debut. And I saw a lot of red flags in the tape. I mean, this guy has no takedown defense, and he's going against such a high-level wrestler in Nakamura. Like, Nakamura is going to take this guy down, no doubt about that. On top of that, like Vera's putting himself into a ton of bad spots, giving up his back. I think Nakamura destroys him. Is it sub? Is it knockout? Is it a dominant decision? If this goes to decision, we might see like a 30-20, like a multiple 10-6 round. I mean, it could be crazy, but I'm just going to I'll go with Nakamura sub as well. It has been smashed throughout the week, and I do want to get the best price on Nakamura by sub. Is it plus 250? Plus 260. Plus 260. I'll take it. I'm with you, Gordo. I think that the sub and knockout should be much closer. Carlos Vera, for what it's worth, he's never been knocked out. Could happen here, but never been knocked out. And he has been submitted in 2 of his 3 losses. So give me Nakamura sub. Very popular play, but I think for a good reason. At the very least, I think he's going to attempt multiple subs. He attempted a ton in the Fernie fight, but I think he probably gets it here. So Rinya sub. TB, what do you like for this fight?
All right. Well, first off, thank you, Monk, in the chat, because Nakamura means you're saying Nakamura. It's obviously going to be a different sub, right? Don't get trapped. Don't get trapped. Yeah. Thank you, Monk. Appreciate you. And also, I'm very big into the nicknames here. So Carlos Vera, the nickname is Pequeño. You know what that means in Spanish? Small, tiny. Like, that's not great. Okay. It's not great. So even we see in the face off, like Rinya Nakamura, he's not necessarily the biggest guy, and based on UFC stats, it's hybrid, not hybrid. Like I'm a little confused at what's happening there. But ultimately, Rinya Nakamura, you guys are stealing all the thunder. I'm doing the same thing, but I'm saying round 1 or round 2 combo sub on FanDuel. Just to do the Price is Right type of dealio on you guys here.
Gotcha.
If I can extract a little extra juicy juice out of it, because I feel like it's also a short notice replacement here. It was supposed to be Brady Heasnant. So, I mean, Vera, he's never been knocked out. And even if we do get to like a ground and pound type of deal, or if he's throwing like it's like Toshiomi Kazama on the other side of the octagon, I think it more ends up being that he dives for a desperation takedown or wants to play off his back. And I mean, your guys' analysis was great. It was spot on. So we'll go ahead there.
All right, I'm sorry. What was the line on the 1-2 sub?
It was on FanDuel. I lost it though. Hold on. I'm sorry.
All right, just look it up and then.
Yeah, I got you.
And then let me know. All right. Let's see. Nakamura club and sub over 1.5. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd sweat 7.5 minutes here in this one. Rinya sub went up to plus 325 on Hard Rock. Okay. I don't have Hard Rock. But...
Plus 310. Plus 310.
Okay, plus 310 for the sub 1-2 there. Thank you.
Because my $20 on plus 300 sub obviously moved the line. So I apologize for ruining that.
Yeah, I mean, you moved the line the other week. I remember you moved the line.
I'm just saying, it's a tradition. It was what was it? Medeiros, right? So
yeah, you moved the line there. Vera at face-offs was not a good look either. He did not look. I mean, how could you look confident against Rinya Nakamura? I mean, this guy is an amazing fighter, and yeah, I don't doubt him. Does TB scouting? Yes, he has a YouTube page. It is Chronic Combat Conversations. You go live, I think, every Wednesday, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will comment in the chat. If you scroll up a little, it's in there, the Chronic Combat. But I'll make sure to do that. Thank you, number one brother. You're the number one guy.
Vera one takedown. He's not. If he takes down Nakamura, I would be shocked. Do you guys think Vera takes this guy down? I mean,
is that a Ryan Hall connotation? He's like, he trains with Ryan Hall,
Oh, gosh. I don't know about that.
I want to look. What is that, though? I am curious. What would you line that at?
Something stupid like 750. I mean, this guy's not taking anyone down, I don't think. Especially not Nakamura. We got Pickle Sandwich. Shout out to Pickle Sandwich. What's up to you?
Is that Miranda Maverick?
It might be Maverick. What is up, Maverick? Hopefully you go out there and beat Lee today. Nothing discussed here. Rinya by sub. Yeah, very popular play there. VF trains with Miranda Maverick. There you go. Top 3. Ask me at the end of the video, and we'll get there. Carlos Vera's title run starts tonight. It could, man. It could. We'll have to see. He has to get through Rinya tonight. You train with Mackenzie Dern. There you go. All right. I say we move on, guys, to... Let's see. So the featured prelims that Darren Lemos fight, we have Marcos Rogério de Lima going against Junior Tafa. We got de Lima minus 210, Junior Tafa plus 180. So yeah, obviously it was supposed to be Marcos Rogério de Lima versus Justin Tafa. Justin Tafa pulls out, and in steps Junior Tafa with 5-10 minutes left to step on the scale. He steps on the scale. He weighs in at 239 pounds. And yeah, just savage. I mean, absolute savage coming in here, taking this fight on such short notice, but it's kind of similar, right? I mean, Justin Tafa, Junior Tafa, pretty similar. Probably both don't have the best ground game, whereas, Junior Tafa, we've seen that. Justin Tafa, we haven't really seen that. We saw Muhammad Usman just ragdoll Tafa for 15 minutes. Muhammad Usman controlled him for 13 minutes of that fight. And yeah, taking a fight on, 24 hours notice against anybody is always kind of a red flag. I see, some Tafa KO1 in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I think that's his path to victory. But for me, I'm going to just go with the de Lima by submission. And I'm not sure what that price is at the moment. Plus 360, I see, on DraftKings. De Lima by submission. I'll go with de Lima by submission just because I feel like, I mean, come on. I mean, the game plan against Justin Tafa would be to get the fight down to the mat. What's different here? Nothing at all. And we saw Junior Tafa off his back, man. I mean, against Muhammad Usman, if Muhammad Usman had any grappling ability whatsoever, he would have got right into mount easily and finished this guy. So yeah, Marcos Rogério de Lima, I think a sub is in play. I think at the very least he's going to try to sub this guy. and I think it's maybe like a head and arm. And I think it's early as well, so I could go first round, but give me the round 2 as well. I'll just go sub plus 360. I think best price. Gordo, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, to be completely honest, when I did my research for it, this fight wasn't announced yet. So I have a pass on this one because I forgot to look into it. I just looked at the lines for the very, very first time. And to me, what sticks out a bit, if I didn't have to use a pass on this one, would maybe be some DeLima decision at plus 575. Not because I don't think there's a finish materializing, but at that indication at plus 575, that's less than, 13%, that there is going to be it ending inside the distance. And I do think when it comes down to maybe top control or leg kicks from the outside, DeLima's a tough guy, can go out there and win decisions. And I do think that is a viable play. However, for me, I will be passing on the show.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the decision in the Justin Taffa fight, but that was more so because we have seen Justin go to decision multiple times, lose multiple decisions, and Justin was on a full camp, whereas with Junior, I mean, he's taking this fight on just very short notice. So I'm kind of leaning he gets him out of there. But if it does go to decision, wouldn't it be surprising? One thing I found interesting, though, is when DeLima does win fights inside the distance, it's round 1 or bust. If fights reach the second round, he's not finishing anybody. So, I think that was very interesting to see there. But TB, what do you like in this fight here? Are you fading the narrative? Are you going the Taffa side? What do you like in here?
You know me too well, but I do have to pass here. I feel like half of my angle is just like we're really betting Marcos Rogerio de Lima back up to minus 210 in this economy against anybody at this point in the UFC. It just doesn't make any sense. Shout out Lubetia, free Lubetia. But anywho, listen, Marcos Rogerio de Lima, like, sure, he should probably win this fight. It's the short notice matchup, but like Junior Taffa was training for a matchup with Carl Williams, who's a much better volume wrestler than Marcos Rogerio de Lima, and he has much better cardio. And as I'm watching the Junior Taffa and Justin Taffa training camp videos, like I see them in the gym working cage wrestling defense with gigantic fucking Australians. Like Marcos Rogerio de Lima is just a light heavyweight with some extra adipose tissue. So, I mean, listen, de Lima, he's got the calf kicks. He's got like solid enough jiu-jitsu. And I get making him your official pick. But why, oh, why in this economy are you laying minus 210? You must have a gambling issue. Wheezy will be at your door with the orderlies. So I do have to pass. But I'll have a degenerate play on top of myself.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Really liking the DeLima by sub. Yeah, I think it'd be wise for him to not, because if he goes out there and strikes with Junior Taffa, he's not looking minus 210. I'll tell you that right now. But if he grapples, yeah, he could. DeLima first round sub. DeLima arm triangle plus 1600. I like that. That's what I'm going with. Taffa first round KO. Yeah, which I saw was plus 600, which I think is solid. Taffa value. Yeah, I mean if he wins this fight, I think it's first round knockout. I think he's going to go out there trying to take off DeLima's head in the first 5 minutes. Absolutely. I always bet with the mustache, and yeah, Taffa has one hell of a mustache. I'll tell you that. Taffa round 1. Both Taffa bros suck. I don't think they suck, but I mean Justin Taffa did lose to Jared Vandera, Carlos Felipe, and just has some oh god, Jorgen De Castro. If you lose to Jorgen De Castro, I mean I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. DeLima by sub, me like DeLima via ground. Hopefully use that ground and pound to open up a sub. I would like that. Brady gets to pick all the pay-per-views because it's his show. You caught me. I'm doing the pay-per-views for sure. I'll do some other cards here and there if people need it, but I do like doing the pay-per-views. Yeah, I mean, it's my show. I can do that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's my show. So, didn't DeLima used to fight at 205? Yes, he did. He used to fight at light heavyweight for a decent amount of fights actually. Junior was in camp for a fight. Yeah, he was training for Carl Williams, which is actually supposed to be in like a month or so. DeLima isn't bad. I don't think so, but TB is right. Like, he has dropped the ball a lot. Most notoriously for me was that Stefan Struve fight where he 10-8'd Stefan Struve, and then the second round just basically had nothing left, and that hurt me there. But yeah, I mean, you can't trust this guy. Yeah, if it goes to decision, DeLima all day. Holy crap, Luke. What? Elise Reed would submit Junior Taffa. I could see it, man. White belt Elise Reed submitting Junior Taffa. That would be one hell of a fight. I'll tell you that. DeLima's a lot heavier than Junior Taffa. Justin Taffa, his brother, though, does cut down to 265, and Justin was actually the only fighter in UFC history to miss weight at heavyweight, believe it or not.
Because he was scared of Harry Hunsucker.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be scared of Harry Hunsucker. I love the beanie, Brady. So cutie woody. Appreciate that. It's juice. I wasn't going to wear the beanie today. I'm having a bad hair day. I need a haircut. If you bet this fight, you got gambling issues.
I got issues, baby.
Potentially. We got Dixon with the thumbs up, the eye emojis, Kopylov by round 2. All right, guys. I say we move on. By the way, we have 836 of you in here, which, I mean, that's got to be a freaking record. So appreciate y'all hanging out here on a Saturday. If you guys have not already, be sure to get the likes up. Maybe we get 200 likes, you know? Maybe we get 200 likes. We could get there potentially. So there's going to be a lot of heated debates on this fight, you got to imagine. It looks to be like the Twitter civil war of the week. A lot of people very confident in either side. Sure, there's going to be a lot of strong takes in the chat. Maybe some strong takes on the panel. We got Amanda Lemos going against Mackenzie Dern. I want to talk about this line first and foremost. Amanda Lemos was minus 270 at opener, and she was around minus 270, 260 for a while, like almost a week. And then it's just been nothing but Dern money coming back in. Dern opened up plus 230, currently plus 119. So kind of a closely lined fight. I'll kick this one off. And I'm going to kick it off because I'm going to use up my second and final pass on this one, man. I mean, I don't trust either of these fighters. I don't trust, 36-year-old Amanda Lemos in this fight. Grappling's a question mark. Cardio's a question mark. Where's her motivation at after just getting completely embarrassed in her last title fight at 36 years old? See, I don't trust Lemos. And then on the flip side, I don't trust Dern at all either. I don't trust the wrestling of Dern. Like what, a 7% takedown accuracy. I don't trust the striking defense of Dern. And it's weird with Dern. She impressed me in that Angela Hill fight. I know it was Angela Hill, but she impressed me the best she ever looked. And then she went out there against Andrade and just looked awful. So I don't know. I'm not touching this one. I'll let you all touch it, but I'm going to sit back and just enjoy this one and really root for nobody in this one. Just sit back and enjoy it. Just sit back and watch this one. No money on it. No interest in picking a side or betting a side. Just going to sit back and watch. TB, what do you like for this fight here?
All right. I mean, the people might call me crazy. I think that Amanda Lemos at that minus 130 number that you could have sniped this morning on DraftKings, now getting away. Obviously, the line was moved once again by my $20, but Amanda Lemos here, I just feel like she's better in every aspect of the fight besides pure grappling. And even so, who has Mackenzie Dern actually submitted recently? Could you let me know?
Ashley Yoder. Let's see.
Random
Marcos.
Hannah Cyphers.
Oh yeah, Hannah Cyphers. She's incredible.
Yeah, giving up the first leg lock in WMMA history. Hannah Cyphers, ladies and gentlemen, come on down.
Not the Cyphers, yeah.
You're the next contestant on the sub is right. Listen, Lemos has got her own black belt, okay? And it's not from, listen, Dern earned her black belt, but Lemos also earned some violence credentials on the feet here. Now, I've heard some takes out there. I'll be honest, I listen to some shows. I gotta make sure I'm not missing anything on the Instagram or injury or whatever vibes. And one of the things I was hearing is she was so willing to get taken down by Wei Li Zhang. It's like, do you want to fight Wei Li Zhang on the feet? Are you serious? Like, I'm not afraid of Mackenzie Dern on the feet. All you got to do is throw some calf kicks and some hooks. You're good. Come on. Jessica Andrade could do it. Amanda Lemos could do it. Let's all remember, Mackenzie Dern, she improved her boxing under Jason Perillo. Now she's training out of her boyfriend's garage and, doing a couple sessions here and there with Perillo. But why is she really taking this fight? The divorce. She needs money. She didn't get the win bonus last time. Well, we're cleared for the concussion. Let's get back in there. It's going to be calf kick and left hook city. It's Lemos. It's going to look like Lavinia Souza fight in my mind. I think we get an early finish. Anywho, I know. So Lemos inside the distance. I like it.
It's not going to look. I mean, that Souza fight was a terrible showing by. I don't know about that, but I could see it. Lemos inside the distance. You know what the line is on that?
You know what? I talked myself off of just giving the money line, so let me get that while Gordo goes.
All right, we'll go with Gordo. Gordo, what do you got in this fight here?
Yeah, you're asking for confident takes, and truly, this is the hardest one for me to call. I do think it's almost a coin flip. I know that both women's have their flaws in either way, and you know what? There's all this talk about that Zhang fight last time, and it just, first of all, hypes me up for Min Yang Zhang, the real Zhang goat. But it really helps me out in a close fight like this because both fighters haven't looked well recently. And I think when it came down to picking a winner on my show, I took Amanda Lemos due to her physicality early on and her ability to outstrike Dern in the early parts of the game. But we have to question her cardio, her ground game. If even one takedown or a slip were to happen, what happens there? And there are question marks on both sides of this. And I think when it comes down to picking a best bet on this thing, it's not going to become your favorite outcome. It's going to be what you think happens more than the line entails. And to me, that's a Dern submission at plus 260. I think that is going to be a major path to victory for her, whether it be a late with the Lemos cardio fade, whether it be a slip. We've seen Lemos put in precarious situations and freak out. One of my favorite pictures ever is her being choked out by Jessica Andrade. She's like, like, what's going on? Like she is able to be uncomfortable in certain situations, and being put in the ground by Dern is going to lead for Dern's best path to success. Now, she is training out of her boyfriend's garage, but guess what? That boyfriend had a fight overturned in Dana White Contender Series for positive steroid use. Come on. Round 3 submission is going to be... No, I'm just kidding. All jokes aside, like I said, very, very close fight. One where I do not discredit you for picking Lemos here. I picked her myself on my show. But plus 260 for Dern's major path to victory, in my opinion, is a bit off. And for that reason, I'm going to take her.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the Dern sub actually at like plus 350. I just really don't want to bet on this fight, to be honest. So I ended up passing, but that was kind of the one spot that was sticking out. Dern sub, I think that's probably how she wins, but I just don't trust her. Dern's gonna do it. Distance in over 2.5. I mean, it'd be sweaty, man. I think this. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a strawweight fight, so getting the fight goes at like plus 155 in hindsight could look like extreme value. It's just, both these fighters have paths to finish would be my only concern. Over 2.5, I can't get there, but I don't hate it, I guess. Coin flip type fight. The line is heading there. If Lemos had cardio and volume, it's an easy KO1. I think her cardio should be fine in this fight. It's only a 3-round fight, but we have seen her slow down in some 3-round fights before, most notably that Angela Hill fight. Dern KO is super wide. No reason to think she can't find a positional TKO on the mat. Yeah, that's I've seen a couple people on that. She doesn't really throw much ground and pound, though. This is my concern. Let's see here. Lemos looked better at 35 than 32. Agreed. Her age is fine. Round 4 versus Zhang was her best round after grounded for 3. Her cardio is fine. Yeah, her cardio should be all right. Don't knock Hill. I caught her last win. Yeah, I think Hill's solid. She's solid. She's a solid fighter. She's not amazing. She's not bad. She's a solid fighter. Pink liking the draw. The draw, 80-1 draw. 80-1 draw. Dern is going to sleep. Dern looks to be in shape. Let's see. Neil Magny got in there for the divorce money, and it worked out for him versus Mike Malott. That it did, man. Shout out to Neil Magny.
Too soon.
Yes, very, very, very. Oh, sorry, Cordy. You are from Canada, so that's not good. Lemos finished plus 150 on DK. Got it there. Dog or pass, fellas. It's a pass for me, man. Fight to be won by split decisions, plus 700. Okay, for a strawweight fight. Dern sub. I don't know if he's laughing at your play or if he agrees, but I mean that's probably her best win condition there, so I don't think it's anything to laugh at. I'm not. What? I don't think that's the case. We got Parker with the first dono of the show at 99 cents. Shout out to Parker, Connor. Best of luck to you. Enjoy the fights. It should be an absolutely incredible card.
Gordo, you're like the orcs when Gandalf shows up at the top of the hill in the 2 towers and they're riding down and they're like, I'm sorry, that's a deep reference, Lord.
That's the Min Yang Zhang being a star in Vegas or in California right now. All right, he's just too bright for me.
Never thought I'd hear of Zhang Mingyang and star in the same sentence, but you never know. You never know. Yeah, too soon. Gordo, be careful. Devin Clark was my Zhang last week. It didn't work out. Yeah, shout out to Devin Clark. Just got cut.
It's a pretty big difference, though. Like a minus
what a
200.
Performance from Devin Clark, man, against Marcin Prachnia. That was terrible.
Pretty big difference, though. I mean, Clark's.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Let's see here. Where can I find the exact sub method props? You can do it on MGM. They have it for the main card, and I think maybe some prelims. I don't think they have it, but I think the main card for sure, and then some of the prelims. Can you read my comment, bro? I'm trying to read all the comments. Okay, I found it. Sorry. So inside info from my friend's bookie. There's a guy that has $2 million on Ilia Topuria money line. What are you saying?
Well,
Is it Drake? Is
yeah, that's that's what I was gonna say.
Is it Drake? Drake's the only guy I know throwing around $2 million and losing more often than not. Isn't Volk and Topuria fighting? Yes, I believe they are. I believe they are. All right, guys. Yeah, I hope so too. All right, what we're gonna do now is we're going to go through our prelim bets, make sure everything's good, make sure everything's correct, and then we will move on to this incredible main card. And yes, we did. We talked about Maverick already. So yeah, let's start with that. So I'm not talking about Drake's video. I'm not doing it. All right, so I'm taking Maverick sub decision minus 160. I am passing on the Elliott fight. I'm taking Danny Barlow KO2 plus 600. The Zhang and Ribeiro fight won't start round 2 minus 190. Rinya sub plus 260. DeLima sub plus 350. And I'm passing on the Lemos fight. I have used up both of my passes for this card. As far as TB, you're taking Maverick fight and split plus 350, which I do like that. Woodburn moneyline plus 315. Barlow inside the distance plus 110. Ribeiro moneyline plus 112. Rinya sub 1-2 plus 310. Passing on the DeLima fight and taking Lemos inside the distance plus 150. Does all that look correct? Good. You have one pass left, TB. And shout out to my guy, Sparring with Reality, Luke, with the $5, a few shillings to update, revamp the Liang Na wig. Dude, yeah. I probably need a new one because this one's been just sitting around collecting dust. We need to get Liang Na back in the dang cage. I say that. And once she does, I will be sure to wear the wig. And shout out to the UFC for not cutting her. She's still on the roster after going 0-3. You know, she reminds me a lot of Daniel Lacerda. I could see Liang Na going out there, getting 6 fights, losing them all, but having a ton of fun in the process. So shout out to Liang Na. Shout out to Sparring with Reality. Appreciate you, Luke. And then Gordo, you are taking Maverick. Fight doesn't go to decision plus 225. You're taking Woodburn KO plus 475. Quinlan more than 0.5 takedowns minus 110. Zhang KO plus 145. Rinya sub plus 260. Passing on the DeLima fight and then taking Dern sub at plus 260, right?
Correct, unfortunately.
Wait, why is it unfortunate?
Oh, it's not every day you got bets on Val Woodburn, Min Yang Zhang, and, Josh Quinlan. So, we're here. I'm happy for it, and they're going to come through for us. But if I was going to say I'm confident, I'm lying. But let's keep going.
Let's do it. So, yeah, Drake is dropping his hammer down. Yeah, I haven't seen Drake's main event pick for this week. Is he going to Poirier? Is he going Volk? All I know is he'll have $1 million on either. Nala Young, Patty Pimblett, they're not really the same though. I mean, it's close, but they're kind of two different haircuts, I'd say. Appreciate you, Quinn, for hanging out here. You had to sing that Ballard again, Brady. That was fire. Yeah, maybe I'll bring it out when Liang Na gets back out there. All right, I think we're all caught up with the chat. All right. I say we move on then, guys, to the main card. Before we do, Adrian, shout out to Adrian. Sent me a nice dono actually in the comments, and I appreciate that. Adrian sends another one here, $10. Keep up the great work, fellas. So many live dogs, and yeah, I think there is. I think there's a lot of live dogs in this card. It's just which ones are going to come through is kind of the question. All right, guys. A bet on Dern will make me question everything you say. A lot of people very upset with Mackenzie Dern. That's for sure. All right, we'll move on to this main card. And we have my favorite fight on the card. We got Anthony Fluffy Hernandez going against Roman Kopylov. We got Anthony Hernandez minus 210, Roman Kopylov plus 180. This is my big fight. This is my big 25-1. And yeah, we talked a little about these exact sub methods. We talked about DeLima with the head and arm plus 1600. We talked about Kimura, but TB did debunk that with Rinya Nakamura. So it's probably not going to happen, but that was 30-1. I'm calling my shot here. I think Fluffy wins this fight by sub. It's just which sub will it be, right? You got, I think the most likely one is that guillotine, right? He goes for that guillotine like 50 times a fight. But what he also does, man, is he looks for that anaconda. He looks for it quite a bit. And this anaconda line on MGM has actually moved a little bit. It's now down to like plus 2,500 on BetMGM. He has one before. He got the Anaconda choke against Jung Young Park, and I can see it. I was debating between guillotine and Anaconda, but as Lou Betcha says, Anaconda, it pays more, and that it does. 25-1, putting my balls on the table and calling the exact sub. But yeah, I think there's a couple different ways I could have went with this. I could have went with Fluffy 2-3. I could have went with Fluffy 2-3 sub, but give me that 25-1. I'm taking over this competition.
Wow.
Damn.
Throwing the hammer down, Brady.
Yeah.
Are you Gordo or what? That hammer came out?
I might be.
I love that.
TB, what do you got for this fight?
Listen, I actually gonna have to pass here. I love this fight. Kopilov's made some gigantic improvements overall. Is it enough in the cardio and the wrestling department at the same time? And did Fluffy make enough improvements in his body defense? Because Kopilov's gonna be whipping them kicks out there. Nice combos, body to head, and I'm sketched. I feel like the line got a little bit too wide for a little bit. It bounced on back once again, but I can't. I don't have a firm position on this fight. I wanted to say fight ends round 2, but I think I'm just getting too cute, and I need to use a pass at some point, so it's going to be here.
All right, passing on the Fluffy Kopylov fight, using up your second pass. Gordo, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, honestly, one of my favorite bets in the entire card that I bet myself is just the under 2.5 rounds at -185. It's one of my favorite bets in the entire card. But coming out of the show, I'm like, you know what? Let's put an effort in. Let's try to get plus money on everything. How are we going to translate that towards plus money here? And I do think a line that could be a bit off this week, but kind of counteracts Brady's point here, which is a bit scary here, is fight to end by KO. It is plus 150 right now. To me, that is just one that covers a few outcomes here. I do think this fight materializes as a finish a lot of the time here. And when Kopylov is winning by finish, it's going to come by KO a lot of the time. He is a guy who does throw out those body kicks. We have seen Hernandez hurt to the body, and the striking of Kopylov is no joke. However, Hernandez is a guy who is going to be on the ground from top position. He's going to have positional TKO percentage. He is going to be put in the same situations that Duraev was put in. And Duraev could have had a positional ground and pound if the right ref is in that situation. I do think at plus 150, it's a good way to get that fight doesn't go of -260 down to a positive number. And although we are eliminating the sub opportunity for Hernandez, which I do think is live, I do think this number is able to hit more often than the line entails. I do think a finish materializes. I'm just hoping it's going to come from the method of a KO. Although my favorite bet on the entire thing is going to be the under 2.5 rounds. But let's get some plus money.
Yep, same. I can see a KO. I think that covers Kopylov's win condition there, and it also covers the TKO from Hernandez. Like you said, Drive almost did it. I just think at the very least, Hernandez is going to attempt an Anaconda choke, and at plus 2,500 for, yeah, I'll take my shot there. Kopylov gang. If Dern wins by sub, Gordo has to talk in a Portuguese accent on the Wednesday show next week.
God.
Kopylov, take my energy. Kopylov gang. Fluffy didn't look good. What do you mean Fluffy didn't look good? When did he not look
better
good?
than he has?
Yeah, he's looked great.
Is he looking a bit fluffy?
He looks in his best shape of his career, I think. Third round, Kopylov. Yeah, Sean doesn't like my take. Sean says Fluffy won't even get Roman down. Sean, if you think that, you're on crack, dude. I mean, Fluffy can attempt like 20 take. I think he's getting at least one takedown. Sean, if Fluffy doesn't get one takedown here, what should I do? I'll give you $50. How about that? If Fluffy gets 0 takedowns, I will send you $50, Sean V. Because come on, this guy averages more takedowns than Marab. Almost 7 He's not taking down Roman. I get Roman has great takedown defense, but against who? Against who? Fluffy is soft to the body. Yes. Brady, I know you like the fight to end around 2 or around 3. FanDuel has that at plus 130, but if you same game parlay the over 5.5 minutes and the under 4.5 minutes on DK, you get plus 190. Okay. Yeah, I think this fight does end in 2 or 3. Roman, round 3 decision. If you parlay it with Nakamura, $1 pays 806. The Nakamura Kimura with the Fluffy Anaconda. Could be a Darce or a guillotine. Kopylov has good takedown defense, 90%. Yeah, he does. It's just against who? Against Albert Duraev? Albert Duraev. Who else? Punahele Soriano, Josh Fremd. I mean, come on.
He looked so poor against Duraev that Duraev was a -300 favorite against Buckley.
Oh gosh, Albert Duraev, man.
Was he?
Fluffy's in a world of hurt. I agree, Sean. I agree. Think it'll go over 1.5. I think it will, but like ever so slightly. Fight ends in retirement. I don't think either of these guys are anywhere close to retiring. Kopylov wins, easy money, easy bag. Fluffy sub round 3. I'm leaning round 3 myself. The Fluffy is being overrated. I don't think so, man. I think Fluffy's has all the right to be this hyped, man. But yeah, both guys are very good. Fight doesn't go minus 250. I like it. Gordo likes it. Let's see. That 50 is safe. Make it $500. Oh, I don't know, man. 50 is fine. You know, if Fluffy gets 0 takedowns, I'll give Sean V $50. I think that's fair because maybe Roman does knock him out early. Maybe that does happen, but I think Fluffy should get at least 1 takedown. Love you, fellas. What is up, Marsan or Marsain or Marcane?
Yeah,
hopefully, hopefully I got one of those. There's a good chance I did. Both round 2, 3 finishers agreed. And Kopylov round 2 KO plus 1,300. Kopylov round 3 KO plus 2,500. What I'll say is Kopylov only has 1 first-round knockout. The rest are like second and third. So, yeah, I think if Kopylov does win, maybe it is a round 2 or round 3. I think those could be in play. All right. We'll move on to the next fight then. We have Merab Dvalishvili going against Henry Cejudo. And, yeah, we have like some insane line movement here. So Merab was sitting around like minus 170-ish, minus 180-ish range for a while. And then the last, 24 to 48 hours, just money's poured in on him. And obviously there's some speculation. There's some rumors going around that Henry Cejudo is injured. Are these rumors true? I'm not sure, but I mean, this line has moved so much that I'm starting to think somebody might know something. Because, if Henry Cejudo is coming in here, ready to go, not injured, I still do like Merab, but minus 300, it's getting kind of crazy. So, yeah, I don't know about this fight. If I had another pass, I probably would pass on this one, to be honest. But the play I am going to give out is going to be Merab round 3 decision. And I see it at minus 167 there. So give me Rob, round 3 decision, minus 167. Rob's not finishing anybody outside of Marlon Moraes, but if Cejudo is actually injured, could be like a TJ Dillashaw type situation, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, just give me that round 3 just in case Henry is actually injured. And even if he is injured, Rob still probably doesn't finish him. So we'll see. But round 3 decision, I think it's a good way to get this minus 300 price tag down because holy crap, who's betting Merab Dvalishvili at minus 300? Gordo, what are you liking in this fight here?
Yeah, honestly, I was prepared to make this one a pass as well. I think it's a pretty close one. The line movement is a bit weird. I also think that could be just such a big card. Where are the parlay pieces? I think people are looking for them, and they're kind of being drawn towards Merab as one of them, which I think is why somebody's coming in there. So to me, I'm not playing too much into it, but you know what? They're going to force my hand, and I think I'm going to be playing Henry Cejudo here. Plus 245, you're saying you're giving less than a 30% chance for him to win here, and I just don't think that's correct. I think Merab is a guy who I love to back. I think I check my bet on my tips. He's the fighter who I bet on the most in my entire betting career. 5 units against Moraes, 5 units multiple times on Merab. I love his style. I love his pace, and as a primary DraftKings player, he's one of my favorite guys to watch because he goes out there, wrestles at a high clip, and I absolutely love his style. And it's something that always makes me want to cheer for him, want to see him do well. But his style is predicated on pace and takedowns. He doesn't have the best control. He doesn't have the best striking. And what he's going to be doing is he's going to be bringing a wrestling match towards a former gold medalist wrestler. And although that the pace is still going to have the opportunity to break someone like Cejudo when there could be potential injuries and all that stuff, I do think you're giving Cejudo a better chance in the line and tails. I think at distance, Cejudo could be the better striker. And I think we have yet to see Merab really put on his back. Last time we saw Merab face someone with decent wrestling, I mean, Stamen made him fight to a very close decision there, one where I think Cejudo could go over there and give him some problems as well. So at the end of the day, gun to my head, I'm picking Merab Dvalishvili. I love the guy, but at these odds, I do think Henry Cejudo wins more than 30% of the time. Therefore, I do think I have an advantage on the market here. Therefore, the best bet for me will be Henry Cejudo. Did not expect me to be saying that, but at these numbers, I do think I'm going to have to take a stab, and I do think it's going to make for a very interesting matchup nonetheless. Yeah,
man, something's up, man. I mean, something's got to be up. Merab minus 300. It just seems, I don't know. It feels weird. Something weird's going on. Take no prisoners with the 499. Hey, Brady, do you think Kopylov is going to pull a second round TKO again? I think if he wins it, it might be. This guy loves second round knockouts. It's death, taxes, and Kopylov KO2 more often than not. So if he wins, I'm kind of thinking KO2. Kopylov is the popular dog. Cejudo by decision. Let's see here. I have so much Merab. There we go. Quadruple C. And yeah, Merab is now Mexican. I found that very interesting at the press conference there. Merab isn't losing a 3-round decision. Henry KO1 says Keegan. Prisoner with another $4.99. Cejudo signed his death warrant when he spoke to Merab in Russian. Yeah, I mean, that face-off was intense. I'm looking forward to this fight, but yeah, this line is getting a little bit out of hand. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. And then should I take Cejudo from my DraftKings lineup due to injury? I don't like him really in DraftKings to begin with. But I don't know. I don't know if he's injured. I mean, it's not been confirmed nor denied. I don't know. It's just what I've heard. It's just what's going around. And this line movement may indicate that maybe he is injured. We'll see. But TB, what are you liking for this fight here?
Well, first off, what I'm loving, I mean, we got some crazy action in the chat and the live video and the likes. Are we going to hit 300 here? Let's go, people. You guys are doing your thing. Come on. Make it happen. Do it for Brady, okay? Think about 300 in Sparta. Don't think about Sparta. Think about Brady. We got to do it for the guy. Now, the big thing I'm thinking about in this fight here is this is where that same game parlay activity comes in handy. And I got to give a shout out to the boy Danny Lags out there because I got to be paying more attention. Tell me a world where Merab wins where he doesn't land more takedowns and land more strikes. So you're telling me I could get the -290 favorite and instead get a +115 if you same game parlay Merab money line, Merab to land more takedowns, and Merab to land more strikes. +115 on DraftKings. It's gold. It's gold. If he loses, I mean, I would say if you want to cover your ass, you bet fight doesn't go the distance because the only way Henry Cejudo wins this fight is to finish Merab. That's the only win. It's like +500. So have fun. I don't even do the money line. You can even lay less money to hedge out your spot. Tell me a world where Henry Cejudo wins a decision against this freak. Now, I know Merab has been taken down before, but the dude, all he does is get up. He explodes over and over. It's like he took Viagra and he's on bottom. He just keeps exploding. Like, you can't hold this man down. My God, Merab. So even if Henry has a little success, he couldn't hold down Aljo. He's not going to hold down Merab. Aljo has to conserve cardio. Merab has 4 lungs. Who said that in the chat? I appreciate you guys. So exactly. Finish Merab. Yeah, good luck with that. But listen, Marlon Moraes came a little too close for comfort. And I know Henry does have a little bit of pop in those hands. You know, Sterling was feeling it and he was running away from it. But listen, I got the same game parlay for Merab here.
All I heard was Viagra and exploding. So you have the same game parlay, Merab money line, more takedowns and more strikes, +115.
Yeah, you gotta go in the same game parlay section. You like click the little little activator, and then it shows you some lines you wouldn't get otherwise, like for just like straight up plays.
Yep. So Merab, but by close decision. Yeah, Merab has like 6 longs. I mean, that guy's cardio is crazy. What is up, Justin? Hopefully you're doing well. What did you miss? Quite a bit. We're almost kind of done here. Every parlay I have has Merab. Hopefully you cash it there. Smash the like. Yeah, we're almost at 300, which is freaking crazy, guys. Appreciate you guys. Finish Merab. Good luck. Yeah, I don't think anybody's finishing really anybody in this fight unless there are some injuries involved. I'm waiting until Brady confronts Drake's vid to like. I'm not talking about that vid, dude. I'm not talking about it.
He confronted it at least. He brought it up, you know. He doesn't have to talk further. You got to follow up on your end now.
Yeah, let me know what you think of the vid. 6 lungs and a titanium head. Wasn't Merab the dude that jumped into like a frozen pond? Was that Merab?
That was him.
I mean, if a frozen pond can't knock you out, I don't know if Cejudo is going to knock you out. Fight to go the distance. I agree. How do you feel about Kopylov and the Volk over 2.5? I kind of like the Volk over 2.5. Kopylov, I'm not so sure about that, but a lot of people in the chat seem to be on Kopylov this week. All right, so
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, 100%. Gosh, okay, Kiwi, shout out to Kiwi. All right, so what we're gonna do now is, first of all, 935 of you in the chat, which that's got to be a record. So appreciate y'all hanging out. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We go live every Saturday, 2 hours prior to the prelims, and yeah, go subscribe to these guys as well. Chronic Combat Conversations for TB, Plays and Fade Sports for Gordo. They do a ton of great work as well. And I say we get into the next fight, and let's try to not do a lot of cuck comments. I know there's gonna be a lot of those. Let's try to refrain from those. I will not be pulling them up. But we have Ian Gary minus 226, Jeff Neal plus 191. Yeah, it's a line that kind of stayed the same throughout the week. Ian Gary on this minus 220 range, 230 range, 240 on some books. Jeff Neal plus 190. Interesting fight here. Fun fight. Looking forward to it. Gordo, what do you like for this fight here?
I won't lie to you, not much. I think it's a very close one. I originally was debating either side, and I think it came down to the fact that, I picked Thompson over Neal, and I do think that Gary's able to pitter-patter from the outside the same way Thompson did, and I do think that's my prediction. But when it comes to finding value or placing a bet on this one, I think it go a multitude of ways, so I'm using my final pass here.
All right, passing on the Ian Gary, Jeff Neal fight. Yeah, I mean, if I had another pass, I'd probably be passing on this one as well. What I'm going to go with, though, is I think the most likely scenario is probably Ian Gary by decision, just doing the better work on the feet, landing more volume. I think he has more tools on the feet, more weapons. But, a spot that did kind of stick out was Jeff Neal finish only at plus 130. Because I think if there is a finish in this fight, I don't know if Ian Gary's finishing Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal is extremely tough. Yes, he got submitted by Shavkat, but come on, man. I mean, that's Shavkat Rakhmonov. Ian Gary, is not really showing any grappling thus far in the UFC. Outside the UFC, sure, but inside the UFC, we haven't seen it yet. And on top of that, how is Ian Gary going to take down Jeff Neal, who has elite takedown defense in the division? I think these guys are striking for 15 minutes. And yeah, Ian Gary probably lands more volume, probably does the better work, but it's going to be Jeff Neal landing the bigger shots. Ian Gary's very hittable. We've seen him knocked down against Song Kanan, which, I mean, if you get knocked down by Song Kanan, something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong. So yeah, give me Jeff Neal, finish only, plus 130, probably voids, but if there is a finish in this fight, I think it's Jeff Neal landing a big shot and taking off the head of Ian Gary. TB, what are you liking in this fight here?
Can we talk about one of the most gigantic step downs in competition you could possibly make is going 14 minutes plus with Shavkat and then getting to take on, I couldn't finish Neil Magny on short notice in Ian Gary. And let's talk about a couple other things, because I don't think Ian Gary has anywhere near as good a striking defense as Wonder Boy. I mean, we're talking about a guy he's got 53% defense. Jeff Neal's got 58% defense. And someone else in the chat said that they were worried about Gary's reach. Well, Ian Gary's giving up an inch of reach to Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal comes in, he makes weight, looks absolutely phenomenal. Let's also remember Ian Gary's, we're not going to mention anything else like of whatever, but they also made a t-shirt with Jeff Neal's mugshot on it. You think this guy's not motivated to go in there and literally rip off the head of Ian Machado Gary? Come on, man. It's Black History Month. We're going with Jeff Neal here. It seems so simple to me. If Song Kanan can drop you, if Jordan Williams can win 3.5 minutes of round one, the UFC doesn't even seem to really want to promote this guy, quite frankly. Like, they posted a thing on their Twitter like, oh, he knows the fans doesn't like him and whatever. Like, no one in Ireland really likes this guy. He doesn't actually get paid a lot for his fights. And it feels like kind of one of those like Paddy Pimblett's waiting to happen once you get the right matchup. I'm going Jeff Neal. I'm going money line. I got plus 200 FanDuel. And Guru might hate me for it. The guy I do Chronic Combat Conversations with. Shout out to Guru Scouting MMA. But I'm a dog hunter these days. Listen, what up, dog? We're out here hunting. There's a few options. And if I go 50-50, choosing like 5 to 6 dogs, and only 3 of them hit, well, guess what? I had a profitable night. A couple plus 300s, a couple plus 200s, and it's better than parlaying Marab and Fluffy Hernandez at minus 2xx. And if one of them loses, you're out all of your money. So maybe in the short term, you can find your little safe parlays and stuff like that. But for me here, man, this guy's way too talented to be a plus 200 against Ian Gary. When I saw what he could do, he knocked out Shavkat's mouthpiece. Let's not forget. I know he didn't necessarily get that close to finishing him, but I mean, Jeff Neal landed some big shots, and Gary's going to get dropped from those.
Yeah, I think I could see Gary getting dropped. Does he get knocked out? We'll have to see, but I could see him getting dropped. I mean, he's so hittable, and Jeff Neal has a ton of power. I mean, knocking out Vicente Luque, I didn't think was unimaginable unless you brought like a truck into the cage, but Jeff Neal uses hands rather than like a truck or a hammer. Shout out to Gordo. I don't care about Jeff. Jeff is out for blood. Taking Shavkat to the 3rd round, it's impressive. It is. I mean, he lost that fight, clearly lost that fight, but He had some moments. Has Ian Gary been tested yet? Yeah, he's been tested by Song Kanan. Song Kanan tested him. Jordan Williams tested him. He beat D-Rod. I think that D-Rod win was a very good win. And then obviously Neil Magny win. It's a decent win, but this is a good test for Ian Gary. 15-minute striking match. Gary wins easy. Yeah, he could make it look somewhat easy. Neil decision plus 900. DFS Chief not liking it. Oh, brother. Jeff's coming for his life. Yeah, he is. He's going to. We'll see if we can get him or not. Gary, by any way he wants, I think it would probably be by decision there. Gary will cruise. Have bets on Neil KO and Gary decision. I think one of those hit for you. Gary's chin is open way too often. Yes, it is. Gary decision. I think that's probably the most likely scenario. What is Gary by decision? Gary by decision, probably nothing decent. Gary by decision. Oh, plus 155. I guess it's not terrible. Neil and Kopylov, Kopylov especially. I haven't really seen many people on Neil. I think Kopylov and Topuria probably the most popular dogs. Volk to land 4+ takedowns. You'd probably get crazy odds on that, no? Any value on Gary KO? Bookies don't see it going the distance. I mean, if you can't knock out Neil Magny, I'm not sure if he's knocking out Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal has been knocked out once, but I think that was a long time ago. Let's see here. Neil will finish Gary in the first. We shall see. And you're not wrong, Fighter Fade. You're not wrong. We will see what happens in the cage here very, very shortly. Plus 145 for Volk, 4 takedowns. TB turn off the camera, hit the dam. Maybe. All right. No, you had to let the dog outside.
Yeah. Listen, the little guy staring at me. Got to give him a little love. So.
Yeah. Lemos is a lock. I mean, nothing, Alex, is a lock in MMA, especially not a 36-year-old, strawweight. But yeah, we'll see. She could look like a lock, but yeah, nothing's really a lock in MMA. Not even Rinya Nakamura. 926 watching. Is that a record? Yeah, it's 932 now, and it's got to be a record, 100%. What is up, Daz? And yeah, almost 1K would be freaking crazy, dude. That'd be crazy. Lamos is a lock. Another guy with. Whenever people say like it's a lock, they're typically wrong a lot. So this only leads me to believe that Lamos probably might lose now. You guys are saying you guys are jinxing yourselves. Don't do that. All right, we'll move on to the co-main? Yes, the co-main event. We got Robert Whittaker going against Paulo Costa. We got Robert Whittaker minus 230, Paulo Costa plus 195, and to my surprise, Paulo Costa showed up this week. First and foremost, that was surprising. But not only that, Paulo Costa looked in the best shape he has in a very long time. So maybe he's starting to finally take fighting seriously. I had some concerns, man. This is a guy that was pulling out of fights left and right, taking Luke Rockhold to decision, which is a jailable offense, doing that. And then on top of that, promoting fights he hasn't even signed for yet. I mean, it's just a terrible look. Weighing in at 205 pounds for a middleweight fight against Marvin Vettori. I couldn't take this guy serious for the longest time, but now he weighed in. He looked good. He seems motivated. Maybe we get the best version of Paulo Costa. So it's a very intriguing fight here. Robert Whittaker, decent sized fave. Paulo Costa plus 195. We'll start with you, Gordo. What are you liking for this fight here?
I think it's a fun one. I think it's one that has some pretty important implications for both sides. Not only did Costa look great, but Whittaker looked pretty big as well. It seems to be a pretty fun matchup from that regard, and one that I'm definitely interested in on DraftKings, to say the least. But when it comes down to picking a bet on this one, I think it's hard for me to go out there and place bets on Costa with certainty, right? The guy is pretty KO or finish dependent. He can lose minutes at times, and different versions of him show up all over the world, right? So we don't know which version of him we're getting, especially considering he may be finally taking this seriously. What I do know is Robert Whittaker has made a career off of beating the bigger guy, beating the Yoel Romero's, beating the Cannoniers, but that has all come via decision, being the more technical fighter, outpointing his opponents to a decision. But the big red flag around Whittaker is that durability, and especially the way he was ragdolled by Duplessis. So facing a large guy who has the power to knock out Whittaker's lights, I do think Costa's a threat to get a finish, but more likely than not, Whittaker wins a decision. How do we take advantage of that in the betting market? I'm taking Costa finish only. It was at plus money last I look, and to my opinion, Whittaker's a guy who is just extremely, let's say, decision dependent. Although he is extremely technical and has the ability to beat Costa, Costa can eat punches way too easily. And I do think a lot of the time when Whittaker wins, it's by decision. I think Costa is live for a finish if he's taking this seriously. And for that reason, give me the finish only line on Costa. Last I saw, it was plus 115. Do not know what it is now.
I thought I saw it at plus 125, but it might have moved. We'll go with plus 115 because I saw it last night at plus 125. So or this morning. So yeah, plus 115 for that finish only. Costa looking all sexy. That's an incredible comment, Amsterdam. I can't believe you just said that. Costa is a fraud. I kind of thought so, man, but I don't know. Maybe he's taking this fighting thing seriously nowadays. Costa may win. We shall see. The secret juice could be in play. It definitely could be in play. Post USADA, Costa is going to be the next mythical creature. Good points. Secret juice is coming through. No USADA, Costa. Corrupt judging. Yeah, there's going to be some corrupt judges. We'll talk about the main event. When I saw the judges for the main event, I puked. All over my desk. It was a big, giant mess. I mean, Ron McCarthy shouldn't be judging fights. He should be in jail for scoring that the Imavov-Dolidze fight a draw. I mean, how do you come up with a draw? I mean, that was one of the worst scorecards I've ever seen. Chris Lee, I think I saw Sal DeMott. I mean, yeah, the corrupt judging is a lock. That is one thing that is a lock, JP. Costa, they look tight and tasty. What? Some weird comments going on. Costa's a lock. No, he's not. Costa decision. We ain't ready for cardio Costa. I took Bobby Acosta's dangerous secret juice season. Bobby Knuckles decision. Costa finish only. So yeah, Gordo, I went with the same thing. I went with Costa finish only. I think Whitaker, if he wins this fight, I think it's by decision. The last time that Whitaker did finish anybody was actually back in 2017. And it was against, I think it was Jacare Souza. It was a long, long time ago. Like, that's like 7 years ago. If my math is, I'm terrible at math, but I think it's like 7-8 years ago. So yeah, Robert Whitaker, not much of a finisher, especially at this point in his career. If he wins, it's probably by decision. Robert Whitaker by decision is probably a trash price. And it is plus 130. What I'm going with, though, is that finish only, especially after seeing Paulo Costa for one, show up, which I wasn't convinced he would, and two, look in incredible shape. If Paulo Costa wins this fight, I know people are saying decision, but it's that durability of Whitaker that scares the crap out of me, man. This is a guy in Whitaker who's been fighting for a long time now. He's taken a ton of damage. He looked bad, I know there's streaks, but he looked bad in the Dricus fight, got hurt, knocked out. He's been hurt so many times in his career. And Paulo Costa, for what it's worth, this guy has a ton of power. The Luke Rockhold fight, yes, it was a bad look, but they were in elevation. And I don't know if Paulo Costa was really taking that fight too seriously. I mean, he's probably like, it's Luke Rockhold. I don't need to really train for this fight. I mean, Luke Rockhold's 40 years old. I think he's taking this one seriously. And if he does, I think the finish could potentially be live. I think Bobby Knuckles by decision, that is the most likely scenario in this fight. But give me that finish only for Paulo Costa. I'm right there with you, Gordo. Plus 115. TB, are you fading any narratives here? What are you liking?
I'm fading the narrative, man, because it used to be the secret juice to build the muscles and kill the cardio. Paulo Costa's on that different secret juice now. You see, he does look sexual. Who said it in the chat? That guy's got it going on right now. He trimmed out, dog. He's going for that EPO style cardio. In all seriousness, though, he does look in amazing shape. The secret juice must obviously be working. He looks focused for this fight. I know you could say a lot of things about how slow and lumbering he looks, but quite frankly, I don't think it's going to matter as much here because I don't think Whitaker has the same type of danger that he might have used to. And also, I don't think he has the same level of calf kicks that have frustrated Paulo with the likes of Marvin Vettori and Israel Adesanya. Whitaker is much more of a head kick guy, a knee stomp guy. It's a little bit of a different vibe. And then Paulo, he's out physicaling this guy for sure. He's the much bigger person. He's only giving up 1 inch of reach. I mean, T-Rex Paulo Costa, generally he's given up a lot of reach, but he's coming in here. He's going to be matching up physically with the guy he's fighting. And I think that gives him a big ability to get inside. And even if he's going to eat one, he can land one. And Paulo's got a hell of a chin, man. That guy is not being finished, especially the shape he's in. I got to give a shout out to Guru Scouting MMA. He had the fight goes the distance at minus 122. I'm not going to be as degenerate as to say Paulo Costa by decision at the plus 500. You can do what you want with that. Little grandma's couch cushion actions. But Paulo Costa money line. No need to get too cute. We're getting plus 200 on FanDuel. Or what is it? Plus 195? Plus 198? Give me that all day. Come on. Tell me in what area of the fight Paulo Costa is actually a plus 200 anywhere. You can't. You can't. Okay, so it's Paulo money line.
All right, so we got the Paulo Costa money line for TB, and then me and Gordo on the finish only. And somebody asked in the chat, the finish only. If this fight does go the distance, that finish only, aka scorecards equals no action, aka on FanDuel they call it decision no bet. If it does go to decision, it is voided, and I do think that's the most likely scenario. But what did Drake bet today? I haven't seen anything about him. Is he done betting after that video got leaked? Is he not betting anymore? But usually Drake puts a milli on the main event. Secret Juice KO plus 400. Wow, Alexander, I can't bring up that comment. I can't bring up that. Can you get an STD from a toilet seat? I mean, gosh.
Oh my God.
My goodness. Does Costa finish? Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. You don't. I am passing on a decent amount of fights this week. Obviously, on the show we can only pass on 2, but I'm passing on a few. Alex is the juice price. Topuria odds are, we'll talk about that Topuria fight next here. Costa by bad decision. Yeah, I think if any fight goes to decision, it could be a bad decision with some of these corrupt judges in there. 30-year-old versus 35-plus-year-old younger guy wins 80% of the time. Yeah, I think these guys are both similar in age. I think Whitaker's 33 and Costa's 32. Not too much of a difference.
Yeah. Oh, they're talking the next fight, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Brady, you doing a live watch party for any of the cards this year? Maybe. I thought about it. We'll see. And shout out to Big Xander, the $5 dono. And Xander, I appreciate your dono. And typically I will answer any questions if there's a dono attached to it. But this is one I'm not going to answer. If you want me to refund your $5, hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. I will PayPal you $5. But I am not answering this question. He says, if you had to go on a date with either Topuria or Costa, who would you pick? I would pick none. I would not do that. And again, if you want a refund for that dono, because I am not answering it, I will hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. Any thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, listen, the question is, they both like red wine. Do you like Spanish or Brazilian? And like, who are you more afraid of? Like, can you handle Paulo, or you got to settle for Ilia? So, I mean, there's some real questions you got to ask. Listen, I think Paulo seems a lot funnier and Ilia seems full of himself. So if it comes down to they're both sexual beings, you got to go with the better personality, right?
I mean, you went into a full in-depth breakdown there. It's like you
got to help out Xander, bro. We got to help out Xander, man. This is what
you're right. Shout out to Xander. Shout out to Xander. All right. Yeah, the prelims do start in 27 minutes. Let's go. A lot of miles. Costa doesn't, because Costa pulls out of pretty much every other fight. So Costa's left has less miles.
See, he
there.
Pulls out a lot too. That's another factor that works in Paulo Costa's favor for a day. He pulls out.
No comment.
Sorry.
Pick one. Be a man. And I'm not picking one though. I mean, I'm not picking one. I'm just not. I'm not even gonna pick one. I'm not even doing it. None is not it is an option for me. And this is my show, and I say there is no. You know what, Monk? You pick one. Let's let you pick one. How about you come on here? I'll give you the link and I'll let you break it down like TB did. They're both fine. Shout to J Bone.
No comment.
Follow all day. Not pulling up some of these. Let's see. What the heck, guys? Come on. Come on. Pick one. Why? Why do you guys want me to pick one so bad? I'm not even picking one. Brady wants Monk. No, me and Monk are just friends. That's it.
I think it says Mark, but that's your own subconscious like telling you want Monk.
Oh, Mark. Oh, I thought you said Monk. No, Mark. No, I don't. Let's see here. Why is a silly question? This is not a silly question. This is a serious.
This is a serious question, Unc.
J-Bone sounds the best question of the show. My goodness, there's been some interesting questions there, but all right, guys. I say we just get in the main event. We have Alexander Volkanovski going against Ilia Topuria. I'm gonna refresh these odds. I want to see where these odds are at right now. And we have some late money coming in on Alexander Volkanovski. He was minus 120 before the show, now minus 131. Ilia Topuria is currently plus 111. I'll take it away here, guys. I don't have a strong lean in this fight. I really don't. But getting Alexander Volkanovski at about a pick 'em at this point against Topuria, I think that's where I got to go. It's a favorite or pass. It's a Volk or pass spot for me. You can't be confident though. Like, I'd be lying if I said there's not a ton of red flags on the Volk side, right? Like, there's that whole 35 and up narrative curse. There's the whole he just got knocked out, coming back way too soon. There's the whole potential alcoholic question mark narrative going around as well. And Topuria, I was kind of looking through Volkanovski's career, and Volkanovski's fought just incredible fighters. Max Holloway ×3 beat him in all 3 fights, especially the last fight. Beat guys like Korean Zombie, beat guys like Jose Aldo, Yair Rodriguez, Brian Ortega. I could sit here all day and talk about the level of comp, but he's not really fighting a ton of like dangerous guys, right? Like Topuria is probably one of the more dangerous matchups in his career. Topuria is a guy that just has a ton of power. And we've seen Volk hurt. He just got knocked out. So, yeah, I mean, I think you can make a case for both guys, but getting the greatest featherweight of all time at -131, this could be one of those spots in the night where it's like, dude, you just got Volkanovski at -130 against Ilia Topuria, whose best win is Josh Emmett. I love Josh Emmett, but come on. Bryce Mitchell. So if Topuria pulls this off, in my head, it's a pretty big upset, and the line just doesn't indicate that. So I ended up just passing in general on this fight as a whole, but for the sake of the show, I will give Volkanovski money line. Best price looks to be around -125 there. So give me Volkanovski money line -125. There are concerns. I'm passing on this fight, I think, in real life, but like I said, it could be one of those situations where at the end of the night, it's like, holy crap, Volk is -125. What? Are you kidding me? So we'll see. Give me Volk, though. Not a ton of confidence, to be honest. Gordo, what do you like for this main event?
The same thing. I think you broke it down pretty well. I am on Volk this week, and it's one of these cases where I'm a pretty big Max Holloway fan, and there's no denying that. And you know what? First time, like I hated Volkanovski, right? Because he's out there beating the guy I cheer for a few times, and I think the more you watch him, though, the more you appreciate his style and his game. You got to love the guy, because not only is he going out there showing a very well-rounded skill set, but his IQ, his ability to steal rounds, his ability to mix it up from range, as well as threatening takedowns inside. The guy has next level skills, and there's a reason why he is one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world right now, and one of the best featherweights of all time. There's no denying that. And when we're getting this guy who, yes, was just knocked out on short notice by the literal pound for pound king right now, at this price tag, it seems like there's something up here, because Volkanovski is still one of the best featherweights we've ever seen. And he's still a guy who has the ability to mix it up on all 3 levels. And we're taking a guy here in Topuria who, yes, is dangerous, and yes, who looked good against Emmett, but that's again Emmett who didn't mix it up with any kicks, who didn't threaten any takedowns, who didn't have that same elite level of that Volkanovski possessed. Like, what would the price tag would be with Volk against Emmett? Like, there are a lot of things to take in here. We also have to factor in that Topuria, although extremely dangerous, and he beat Mitchell there, he was losing striking exchanges at range against Mitchell. Like I still think Topuria has to prove it to me. And if we were sitting here and saying Topuria was +250 or +200, then yeah, that would catch my attention. But at a near pick'em against one of the best to ever do it here, I'm going to take the guy who's proven it to me, the guy who's proven to have the ability to steal rounds and fight it at a higher level. And I do think he has the ability to go out there and remind us all why he was at the top of the world. I love his IQ. I love his ability to mix it up wherever the fight goes. And I am taking him this week to get it done.
All right. There you go. Sean with a very hot take here, saying Volk doesn't have near the power of Topuria. I don't know, man. That's a very hot take. No, it's not. It's not a hot take at all. Nobody thinks that, Sean. TB, what are you liking in this main event? Are you on the Volk side? Are you on the Topuria side? Are you on a prop? What are you thinking here?
So I'm on the Topuria side. I bet +160 back in November. I moved the line once again. What am I going to say? But listen, my $20 to $50 that I'm throwing down, the books are really listening. So regardless, what I do come away with here is that FanDuel's running a promo for this fight, or DraftKings running a promo for this fight to end inside the distance, boosted to +100. We're getting Ilia Topuria, who's never been finished or lost in his career, and Alexander Volkanovski, who's coming off of one of the most narrative finishes ever, right? I think we got tremendous value on betting the fight goes the distance. And I like Ilia Topuria as the side here. But listen, I think the better defense is Ilia Topuria. I think Alexander Volkanovski clearly has the better offense in the striking. From a multi-levels, he throws feints, probably some of the best feints in the game. Alexander Volkanovski, let me put it out there. He's one of my favorite fighters. I got his signed little poster here. I waited outside in New York City to get this hand signed thing from Alexander Volkanovski. But let me tell you, I bet him to beat Max Holloway, and I bet him at dog money the first time. Ilia Topuria, man, I think his boxing, the way you see him comfortable in the pocket against a guy like Emmett, And the way that he shoulder rolls he's like the way he keeps his shoulder in front of his chin and the way he's like protecting himself, slipping, rolling, cutting angles. I think the defensive maneuvering, like Max Holloway doesn't have that same level of defense. It was an offense versus offense clash. A lot of the guys that Volkanovski's fought, he could just clinch, wrestle, do whatever he wanted. I think Topuria, he's got the exact right tools in the tool set. Like before he came in the UFC and we thought he had any boxing, this guy was like the jiu-jitsu and wrestling absolute masterclass on the regional scene. All round one, easy submission finishes with power double legs. You know, and then you see the Bryce Mitchell fights. You're like, oh, damn. Like, what happens if Volk just rinse, wash, repeat in the wrestling department? It's like, I don't know, man. I think Ilia's got this covered. I think it's decision. So because I lost out on the plus 160 and because I respect Alexander Volkanovski, I'm making the fight goes the distance my official bet here. And that'll be my best bet for the card to make Brady's life easier as we turn to the next slide.
Fight goes at...
Yes.
Mm.
It was plus 130 when I saw it, but doesn't mean that's where it at. Let me get you that number real quick.
Okay. I'll put plus 130 for now. If it changes, it changes. And yeah, the DraftKings boost curse, man. I mean, what was that stupid DraftKings boost at? Oh, it was Israel Adesanya at plus 100 versus Sean Strickland. Everybody bet it, including me. Luckily, they only let me put like $10 on it. Everybody else got 25 on it. For me, they only gave me $10 on it. And then there was another silly boost that just somehow did not hit as well. So, did you find out that line, TP?
Yeah. I saw that on DraftKings. It was plus 120, but where we went ahead and placed the bet was on FanDuel.
130 on Bodog.
Yeah,
130.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fight goes to decision. Plus 130. All right, so you guys are saying in the chat, It Juice is saying that Topuria is a lock. Z saying Volk will expose Ilia. Let's see here. Yeah, Sean V with the hot takes today, that's for sure. Rob decision only is a decent bet. Yes, but it's probably like minus 300 is the thing. Let's see. Volk has no chance to use his wrestling here. Yeah, I think it primarily plays out on the feet myself. Let's see here. Volk by decision. TB with the facts. Yeah, he's bringing the facts today. I like it. Starts in 24 minutes. Starts in, I think, 13 minutes. These prelims. We're gonna wrap it up very shortly here. Considering the judges just need 149.49 and the draw is live. Yeah, the draw could be live. Like if this fight goes to decision, what stupid scorecards are we going to get, man? I mean, we've seen some stupid scorecards in these 5-round fights, and we got 3 clowns judging this card. Or this main event, Ron McCarthy. I think it's Ron McCarthy, Sal D'Amato, and Chris Lee, which is like, that's all they had? That's all they had? Like, come on.
The Three Stooges.
Get somebody else in there. All right. Club and sub for Topuria, I think you're thinking there. Let's say you guys saved my afternoon from the clutches of boredom. Appreciate you, Monk, for stopping by. Great show. Great chat. Enjoy the card. Best of luck to you as well, Monk. Brady, the books had Poton by KO boosted versus Jerry Nakash. Yeah, they cash every so often. There was one where I actually liked it was O'Malley to win by KO or Sterling to win by sub, boosted to plus 100. I like that a lot, and it hits. Yeah, sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. All right, guys, what we're going to do now is get to these bets. We're going to do a quick recap and then give our best bet. I'm not sure why this is not showing up.
Fight goes the distance plus 130.
Volk fight goes decision plus 130. I typed it out, but it just didn't show up. All right. Yeah. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go through everything, make sure everything's correct. We want to be as correct as possible here, and then we're going to give our best bet for the entire card. If you hit this best bet, your profit is going to double. It's a great way to get up the leaderboard in this competition. So say, for example, TB, your best bet is the Maverick fight ends in split. Not only will you get 3.5 units, but you will get 7 units there. So I'll kick this one off. I'm taking Maverick sub decision minus 160. I am passing on the Elliott fight. I'm taking Danny Barlow KO2 plus 600. I'm taking the Zhang fight won't start round 2 minus 190. Taking the Rinya sub plus 260. DeLima sub plus 350. Passing on the Lamos fight. I'm taking Fluffy Anaconda choke plus 2,500. Actually, yeah. And then I'm taking Marab round 3 decision. I could have swore I put the odds there. Minus 167. That's why we do this. Gary finish only. No, not Gary. See, that's why we do this. I'm effing up so bad. I think that question about would I rather take Topuria or Costa in a day really just threw me off later in the show. Neil finish only, Costa finish only, and then Volkanovski money line minus 125. For me, I got to shoot for the moon, right? I'm taking Fluffy via Anaconda choke. I think he's going to, at the very least, he's going to attempt it. And at 25-1, I got to take it, looking to win 50 units and put everybody on this competition in the dust. So Fluffy Anaconda is my best bet to win 50 units. TV, you're taking Maverick Flight ends in split plus 350, Woodburn moneyline plus 315, Barlow inside the distance plus 110, Ribeiro moneyline plus 112, Rinya sub round 1, round 2 plus 310, DeLima fight is passed on, Lamos inside the distance plus 150. You're passing on the Fluffy fight. You got Marab moneyline and more takedowns and more strikes. Same game parlay plus 115. You got Neil moneyline plus 200. Costa moneyline plus 195, and then the Volk fight goes the distance plus 130. Is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet for the card?
Yes, sir. All correct. Loving it. Appreciate you. And let's say Volk fight goes to decision. Plus 130 will be my best bet here. Slow and steady wins the race. We got plenty of dog shots, right? Got this.
All right. So Volk fight goes the distance to win 2.6 units. It's not letting me highlight it, but
it doesn't like that square. It knows it's going to be a good one.
It doesn't like that freaking. There it is. Okay.
Hey, there we go.
We got it. Something was up for a second. All right. Now, Gordo, you are taking Maverick fight doesn't go plus 225, Woodburn KO plus 475, Quinlan more than 0.5 takedowns minus 110, Jean KO plus 145, Rinya sub plus 260 passing on the DeLima fight. In the Fluffy fight, or you got Dern sub plus 260. For the Fluffy fight, you got the Fluffy fight ends in KO plus 150. Cejudo money line plus 245. Passing on the Gary fight, you're taking Costa finish only plus 115. Volkanovski money line minus 125. Is all that correct? And if so, what is your best bet for the card?
Oh, there's some ugly ones there. I'll tell you that. It's there's some. You know what? Math would tell you that the best one to play is Woodburn KO. I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can double down on Woodburn KO, even though it is Valentine's Day week. Instead, my best bet is going to be Rinya Nakamura sub plus 260, one of my favorite plays in the slate, and one that I think should hopefully bring us in 5 units.
Yeah, I mean, I almost made that my best bet, but I want 50 units actually, so I wanted to get 50.
Did you bet that yourself?
No, but I thought sprinkling the Anaconda in the Darce. I thought about doing that. I might still do it as well, so we'll see. I mean, I might as well if I'm talking about it. If I'm calling my shot, I might as well. All right. So. And I wish you could track those sub props, man. I mean, those sub props are juicy. But anyway, any parlays you lay? I don't really like any parlays this week. Any you guys like any parlays?
I haven't tracked any. The only one I have on tracked with me and my buddies is Rinya inside the distance and Min Yang Zhang under 1.5 rounds.
Fluffy to win and over 1.5 plus 100 looks nice. Yeah, that's solid. I kind of like that as well. All right, we're going to kick it around. We're going to throw it around. TB, let the people know where they can find you.
Appreciate you guys in the chat so much. It was electric today. Had a great time. Chronic Combat Conversations. You take a guess what that stands for, but we go live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. EST. You can find me on, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. All the good stuff. I'm wherever you want to find me. Degenerate bets on Pickett, official plays on Bet MMA. But just really appreciate you guys out here so much. It's not the same without the amazing community. Make sure you're not, betting your rent money or anything like that. Listen, we're all just trying to have a good time. So make sure, you can keep your cool if you're losing all your bets. Sometimes a reverse sweep happens. So have a great one. Thank you so much, Gordo and Brady. Appreciate you guys so much.
Appreciate you for coming on. Appreciate the chat as well. Good luck to you as well. Good luck. You bet your rent. Don't do that, Hugh Walnuts. Don't do that. Gordo, where can they find you?
Yeah, man, appreciate you having me on. If we did, in fact, break records of viewers and likes, happy to be a part of it. I think it's a great card, and I appreciate the work you put in weekly for it, Brady. So thanks for hosting. As always, happy to be here. You can find all my work on the Plays and Fades YouTube channel, full card DFS and betting breakdowns out weekly, as well as even a best bets video, a little more concise. Mine was only 5 minutes this week here. So quick action there. You can find me on Twitter @GamblesGordo, where I post my full card of bets. And you know what? It's fun to do this show, but I'm looking forward to these fights, man. They start soon. I hope everyone's able to go out there and make some money, and I wish everyone the best of luck.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate y'all. If you guys could like on your way out, which you guys already smashed the crap out of the like button. 340 likes. Appreciate you guys. Set a record for probably likes and live viewers. So yeah, be sure to tune in next week. And next week we have Mexico City, which kind of has like a pay-per-view feel. Next week's card is phenomenal. We got 299 coming up, and then we got UFC 300 coming up. So yeah, some great cards coming up. And other than that, yeah, guys, best of luck for UFC 298. Enjoy the fights, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. See you later.